I think the Tupac that he did with Pac was horrible. I think that album, I think that was a disgrace. I think he should have never had the fucking music, Pac's lyrics to do it. I understand maybe at the time of Feeney, it was a money thing. He probably paid for that because that there was the closest that he would be to Pac. But that was another insult on our culture and community, what he did with that album.
Benzino has been talking about Eminem again. This is Fresh Hip Hop Opinion with your guy Oleezeh. Don't forget to subscribe. So people, Benzino, we all know he came at Eminem. Well, Eminem came at him actually, but Benzino replied with his two songs, Rap Elvis and that other song, I can't remember what it is. So ever since then, Benzino has been on a sort of a campaign tirade to talk about Eminem, again sparking up his old beef from 2003. He's been on Drink Champs. He's been on Art of Dialogue and a host of other podcasts talking about Eminem and how he bodied him and all that. But recently he was on Art of Dialogue, like I said, and he was speaking about how Eminem shouldn't have produced one of 2pac's albums, the Loyal to the Game album. That came out in 2004. He said that Eminem killed it, it was rubbish. And I kind of echo that. But anyway, people, I'm going to play you the audio and I'm going to give you my opinion on what Benzino actually was saying. Check out the clip.
I think the Tupac that he did with Pac was horrible. I think that album, I think that was a disgrace. I think he should have never had the fucking music, Pac's lyrics to do it. I understand maybe at the time of Feeney, it was a money thing. He probably paid for that because that there was the closest that he would be to Pac. But that was another insult on our culture and community, what he did with that album. That was trash. Maybe, that was, come on, man. That was not it. That wasn't it. And then you're talking Tupac, somebody who you love listening to, over that. It's like he took Pac's lyrics and he put his beats and nah. He should have never got the okay to play with Pac's voice like that and his legacy.
Yeah, fam. Benzino, like I said, taking another opportunity to dig at Eminem. Pause. But is he right? Did Eminem kill that album? That album came out in December 2004. Eminem produced the whole album pretty much. And it had a whole bunch of Interscope artists like the whole of G-Unit, Eminem of course, Nate Dogg was on the album, Jadakiss was on the album, Obi Trice. It's all Eminem's kind of artists really. And I think that's why a lot of people did not really feel it. It was a bit like, this doesn't sound like a Tupac type of album. He did have the Outlaws on there as well, but that's the only thing that really felt like a Tupac kind of album, is that the Outlaws were on it. Although like the reviews at the time were quite favorable, to be fair. Like AllMusic gave it like a 3 out of 5. Rap Reviews gave it 8 out of 10. Los Angeles Times gave it a 2 out of 4, which is not great. Rolling Stones gave it 3 out of 5. And The Vibe gave it 3.5 out of 5, which is crazy. The production was whack. Because I remember Eminem at the time, his production skills was all right. You know, it was decent, but it wasn't like it wasn't something that Tupac fans were accustomed to hearing Tupac on. Because the previous albums that came out after Tupac's death, they had the Don Illuminati 7 Day Theory, which obviously Tupac did before he died, so I don't really count that as one of these. There was Are You Still Down, which was a cool album, but that had music from some of Tupac's early career, from the early 90s. But that was a cool album as well. Double CD. For you youngsters that don't know what a CD is, ask your mama. Still I Rise was an Outlaws album. I wasn't really feeling that too much, but that was still a good album. But my favorites personally was Until the End of Time and then Better Days. Until the End of Time had that great single. They had the video as well. And back then people still thought Tupac might be in Cuba hiding. So all these albums kind of made it like really cool to add to the legend of Tupac. Better Days was really cool because it had that single Thug's Mansion with Nas. Loyal to the Game and Pac's Life was the worst albums. Pac's Life had that song of Ashanti. Ew. I think T.I. was on it as well. That was wickedy whack. But Loyal to the Game definitely has to be the worst one. It had that horrible single with Elton John, Ghetto Gospel. Fam? That was awful. I mean, even the way they manipulated Tupac's voice on the thing was not good. I don't know why Eminem did that. It just didn't even sound like Tupac. It sounded like they just tried to mash up the voice too much. Maybe to fit his beats or something. It just wasn't good. Anyone that's heard that album will probably agree with Benzino that album was his worst album. I know Benzino's got an extra motivation to diss Eminem's efforts on the album, but it just was so out of place compared to the previous albums released of 2pac's that came out after his death. If I had to rank the albums in terms of the best Tupac album that came out after his death, I have to say the best ones, the top three, had to be number 1, Until the End of Time, 2, Better Days, and then Are You Still Down. Definitely the worst, and I don't say this often, I gotta agree with Benzino. Loyal to the Game, by far the most disappointing album from 2pac's albums after his death. For people, I want to know what you lot think. Do you think Benzino is correct with his assessment of Eminem's efforts with that Loyal to the Game album? Was it, or did you like it? Did you think it was good? Be honest, people, no judgment. It's just music. But leave a comment below, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Daily content on this channel, all hip-hop news and topics. I kind of like to mix it up for you lot, you know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, leave a comment below, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It's fresh hip-hop opinion. Peace and love.